Hello YouTube, my name is Cryonic Flame, and welcome to a new series called Builder's Workshop. In this series, I will be going over several lessons with you on how to improve your builds just a tiny bit. I know I did Building 101 in previous videos, but today I would like to start a new series now that I know more about content creation and explaining things in general, so I can teach it better and explain a lot better ways to actually start building. And also, with the start of the new series, we have a new sort of video way. So how these lessons are going to work is every time there is a lesson, there will be a sign for it. Now there are 8 signs, but I can add more in this area, and basically each one of these signs will just display the lesson. So as we can see, lesson 1 will be the box method. Now the box method is a method in which you use a box and then add more boxes and then create a house out of them. And the reason it is so effective is because it is simple, yet it also turns your builds into something way better than just those standard boxes. So without further ado, let's get right into the first workshop. The box method is a method that uses a square and then adds more squares to the sides of it in order to create depth and interesting shapes. But first, let's analyze how a build looks without the box method. So without adding on anything, builds tend to get too simple and clunky. Like when you are on a server and someone says, "Look at my house," and you see this, it is clear that they did not use the box method. So what people do is they just take their box, fill it in to like usually 2 or maybe more higher, and then they just start to add a roof to it all the way up. These houses never look really good. As you can see, this one looks like a pyramid even though it's not supposed to. And then you can see where this goes. They just bring it across and it looks like either a tent or some weird pyramid kind of shape. So if we instead take a box and add things to the side, such as maybe a little section here and a big section here, and maybe let's add something here kind of in the center. Let's see if that's the one more. Let's actually take one off. No, let's add one more here, and then maybe like that. Let's cut that down. And then maybe one here, and let's add a rounded edge right here, which isn't necessarily a box, but it still is in the box method. You get a little bit better of a shape instead of this giant thing. And now, instead of building up too high, you just build up these walls just like this. The advised height for builds is 5 to 7, and this is because it's not too short that you can't detail anything on the inside or you're not hitting your head, but it's also not too tall, so it makes it a pain to build this in like survival. So what I'm gonna do is I try to go with 5 or 6. I never try to go for 7, but it is still in that range. And you just want to build up the sides kind of like that. And looking at the fact that this doesn't have much, I'm just gonna add a box right. Let's go out more right here. And you see how I just kind of did that randomly. It may not look that good, but we'll just go with that. another thing about the box method is you do not want to overdo the amount of boxes that you throw on your build, because if you do so, then it will get overcomplicated, which is kind of the opposite of this, in which it looks too like filled with stuff and annoying to look at. It almost hurts the eyes in a way. Okay, so now we have our full like sort of outline of our house up. So let me grab some stairs and maybe some slabs of a different color. You can use whatever block type and whatever roof type, but I just decided to use oak and spruce because they're kind of basic. But what we can do is find places that we don't want to have a second story, because not all of them have a second story in a house, and sort of add a roof to them already. Now, I know most of you know how to put like upside down stairs to make the roof look neater, but we actually don't want these in our total build right now, because we will add them later and they will mess with certain things such as framing and other stuff later on. So I would just leave it like this, even if it doesn't look that good. Because the thing about the box method is that when framing, you have to do all your framing at the end of the shape. So if you didn't accommodate for it by fully marking these off, you won't be able to put your oak logs like here, because there will already be an upside down stair there. And then of course you want to bring up the roof right up here, just so you can see what that will look like in the end, which I will take that. And then also let's make this one shorter, but instead let's go a more slabby look to it. Like, I'm still going to start out with stairs maybe, then let's go up to slabs right here. Then maybe just like that. We'll see. Yeah. And once again, just bring it out. Don't actually add any sort of extra stuff to it other than just the bare roof. And then we put this back. Let's just go up to this height, but once again, adding the walls up behind it just so you can see what it looks like in the end, and I think that will look pretty nice, especially when we match it up with the rest of the build. Okay, so now what you want to do, as I've already sort of started, is you want to add that second story. So now we went up to 5 at first, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which is right here. Am I correct? Yes. Right here. And so now we want to either go up another 5, another 6, or another 7. And I'm going to go up another 5 because I want it to sort of be equal with the bottom floor. 1, 2. You don't have to make it equal though. 1, 2. Wait, did I lose it again? No, I'm good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now we build everything up to this height. And there we have our final sort of house built up all the way. And now what we need to do is basically the same thing we did before, except now it's going to be our final height, so we don't have to place any more oak. Which, if you've placed this much already, will be a thank goodness. Bring this out here like that. And now it's just the process of connecting up all the roofs, kind of like this. And that will take some time, but eventually they'll all meet in the center somewhere here. For these, you do want to do what you think you don't want to do. You want to bring it around like this and then just build it up. You may not think this works, and if you think something looks a little bare here, maybe on the corner if it looks a little awkward, then the thing about rounded edges is that they look like great standalones or lean-tos. So if you add something like this, then you can just build that out and like add like fence posts holding it up. If it's looking a little bare to you, which everything is up to you, so it does not matter if you think it looks bare or not, or it does matter, because that will change the way that you change it. And then one complicated thing that I want to do is teach you guys about this thing, like how do I add a roof to this? Do I really just want to do this and then put it up like that? No, you don't. Correct. You were correct before. You want to instead do something cool with it and maybe make it into its own square just by adding a roof like that on its own. We can turn that like that, and like there. And we bring this up. Sort of like that. And then it just becomes you connecting all the roofs together. But you can see the difference, how far we've come from this tiny thing all the way to this massive mansion. And I'm already gonna see, I'm probably gonna add a window here, window there, and maybe some side windows or something here. But you can already sort of plan out what your build is gonna look like, and that's why the box method is so good, because you just start laying down boxes and eventually it just all comes together, even though it did just start out like this one did. And it's just an easy technique to make your houses way better. Alright, so that was the first lesson of Builder's Workshop. If you enjoyed, please make sure to like, subscribe, and maybe comment what your favorite part was. Also, do you like the skin? I changed the skin. Do you like it? I made it myself. But anyway, there will definitely be more coming, and so also comment if you would like to see more, because there are definitely more signs to fill and more spaces to use within our little workshop area here. I just thank you for watching, and goodbye.